Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching Lost. This is the 12th episode of the 3rd season. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for in the link in the description below. Just clicking it, put the password in, and enjoy. The last episode I thought was really good. I really did enjoy it. Basically, you know, we had Kate, SAYID, Locke, and Russo. They was heading out, following the compass, following Mr. Echo's obviously advice that he wrote on his stick. And you know, they sat down for a little break. SAYID was pretty fuming because they've been travelling for 2 days and there's no clues, you know what I mean? They've literally found nothing. And as he went to gather some water, you know, he heard something ringing in the bushes. He's gone over to scope it out, and guess what? Yes, it is a cow. Very interesting. And we also seen it being called by somebody. And who is it? Yes, it is the man with the eye patch that they seen. Do you remember when he went to the Dharma facility and got the screens working and sat down and looked at it? It was this fella. So it's interesting. So SAYID was like, look, mate, you know, let's go over, let's speak to him. We'll make sure that we're unarmed. You know what I mean? You take the gun, Kate. You go and hide in the bushes. I'll walk over. I'll approach him, see if we can get some information. He's walked over with his hands up, do you know what I mean? He's scoping out the area. He's gone in, straight away, boom, he got shot. The guy was screaming out the window saying, look, mate, you know, you told me that if I never cross the boundaries, then I would never be attacked. Well, he's obviously pleading that he's not who he thinks he is. He's crash landed on the island with 40 other people, and he's not part of the others, basically. This guy's come out, he said he's sorry, you know, explained that he's part of the Dharma initiative, helped stitch SAYID up. He let everybody free reign, pretty much. He was like, look, Kate, yeah, if you want to go around, look at my cabin, whatnot, you go for it. They could see that he had loads of food, you know what I mean? He had meat in fridges, he had a computer as well. He had a chess game on there. Locke was very interested in that, he started playing it. And, you know, they was going around, he was questioning him. Now, as he went over after he stitched SAYID up, he went over to get some drinks for them. SAYID turned around and said, look, Kate, he is one of the others. I know he is, you know, outside where the horses was, somebody should come and saddle the hay. You know, the straps are not high enough for him. He's too tall. You know what I mean? Somebody else is hiding, and I believe that he's one of them. Now, the interesting thing is, you know, he started talking about the sailboat and how they killed one of them and waiting for the reaction of him. And obviously, he reacted the way he wanted to because he started fighting. Now, the interesting thing is, he managed to knock him out. Lift up the floorboards and go underneath. They was looking around, trying to scope it out. Seen C4 all over the place. They was also attacked by the woman that killed, not killed, sorry, that, you know, had Michael, who's questioning him, who brought Walt into the room, you know, the hut. She was also on the bridge as well. They started fighting. They managed to get the upper hand on her. As they went outside, yes, this guy's woken up. He's took Locke now captive. He's holding a gun to his head. He said, look, we'll do a trade. You give me her, I'll give you him. No questions asked. Well, that didn't happen. She ended up, you know, instructing him in a different language anyway to kill her. He went to kill himself as well, and they interrupted it. You know, that's all because he didn't want to reveal the location of their facility. But the interesting thing is, SAYID's already one step ahead. He's found the maps, he's got blueprints, he could trace the data cables, you know, that they've got running across all the Dharma facilities across the island, and he could pinpoint pretty much the location where everybody's being held. So, mate, that was a really exciting end to the episode, you know. Locke beat the computer at chess as well. He also pressed the button because it come up, it was like, congratulations, you know, you've done the manual override. Dharma facilities, enter these numbers. Has your location been infiltrated by the others? You know, he put 77 in to say yes, and then boom, mate, the whole cabin exploded. And it seemed like this guy was loving it as well, because obviously any information that would have been revealed is now gone. So, can't wait to find out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into today's episode. Is that Claire? She looks really different, doesn't she, with the dark hair?
Mom! Mom! And what is all this?
An aperitif before the breakfast picnic I have set up in your honor. I woke up this morning, I thought it's time to stop feeling sorry for yourself and seize the day. And if anyone, I would rather do some day seizing with.
From the position of this stream, we should be here. These people are 2 miles in that direction.
I'm not sure it's as accurate as you think.
Well, it's certainly not as infallible as the magical carvings on your stick.
Why don't you just tell us if we're going the right way?
Yeah.
Remind me why we're keeping him alive.
What do you suggest? We shoot them like a dog?
No, I like dogs.
He's only going to say the map's right because that's what you want to hear. Do you know what I mean? He'll just say yeah to whatever that you say.
What brings you down to the beach, Desmond?
Ball running pike. I was hoping you might want to join me in the hunt.
Just about to begin a picnic.
I think hunting might be a better way to spend your day, Charlie.
What is it?
I think I know how to get us off this island.
Well, it's kind of got an easy out to go hunting now, hasn't it? You know, it kind of stressed me out a little bit if Desmond popped up every time I was doing something and says, you know, you got to do something else. But then again, you can't hate in it too much because basically every time he's doing that, he's trying to say, look, your life's, you know, your life's in danger. And by not doing the thing that you was going to do, you survive today. You know what I mean? Like, so it would get annoying, but also you have to look at it from that point of view where he's trying to help.
I need gins, nets, and fish. We've got to hurry. And buckets. I'm going to need those too. Okay, 5 minutes ago, a flock of seabirds flew over my head.
I'm sorry, I don't understand why we need to.
They're tagged. Somebody's going to gather them up.
You can send a message.
If we can catch one.
How do you even know this stuff about birds, Claire?
I watched a lot of nature shows with my mum.
Doesn't exactly make you an expert.
So what happened to seizing the day?
Don't see the point.
I reckon she's putting 2 and 2 together because she's just, you know, spoken to him and now he's down again. But also, this reminds me a bit of the Rose and Bernard episode. Personally, I never thought in that episode that Bernard done anything bad. He was trying to do something good to get off the island. He was like, look, mate, let's create a big sign. You know what I mean? He was trying to keep positive vibes up, you know what I mean? Like motivation. And she was bashing him down constantly. And I didn't like it. I mean, I like them. I just didn't like it in that situation. And it's here again. She's thinking of something positive. Yo, mate, they're here for one day. Let's attack it. You know, let's get a note on it. Trap one. People will track it. Maybe know that we're here. You know what I mean? No, I don't see the point. You know, it's false hope. You know, I don't want to see you wasting your time. It's like, why so negative? You know what I mean? Just get it done, mate. You know, you're apparently going out with her. So, have you not learned that anything that, you know what I mean? Anything that your missus says is right?
Hold still, dear. Just another second.
Sorry to bother you, but I need to ask you a few questions. Has anyone contacted your father?
My father died when I was 2.
I spoke with the truck driver. He said that when you hit him...
No, he hit us.
Speed would you say that happened?
Out of nowhere. I didn't...
That's not the question I asked, Miss.
Why are you even asking me these questions?
These questions are standard procedure when there's a fatality.
My mother is in surgery.
Good day, Miss Littleton.
You know, Claire's car did look like the front of it was all crushed in, so unless she rear-ended somebody else from getting hit from that other vehicle, it'd be interesting to see.
I told you that your daughter was living with them, and you haven't asked me a single question about her. You haven't...
Your friend, imagine 16 years from now. You're told he was still alive, that he wouldn't remember you. He wouldn't even know that you ever cared about him. I haven't asked you questions about my daughter, because I do not want to know the answers.
It's sad that, innit? But she has got like she has got a valid point, if I'm being honest. Like, that was kind of like what I was saying last episode. It's interesting, actually. I said a few things, and they do come and happen. I think I mentioned, literally, like, what's going on with the polar bears? You know what I mean? Like, we've not seen them in ages. Next episode, I had a polar bear come and eat Mr. Echo. You know what I mean? I was like, what's going on with the blast mist? Well, we had that black mist again come over and kill Echo, which is strange. 2 episodes ago, I was like, yo, how many episodes have we had of Hurley and Jack and Sawyer? Who's had the most? I was trying to think, and I was like, you know what, Claire, she's probably only had one, hasn't she? The only one I can recall is when she went to the guy who the sidekick, you know what I mean? We're not seeing Claire episode today. Yesterday, I was like, look, you know what I mean? I was talking about her and going after her daughter, and basically like, look, you know, she could turn up and be like, hi, I'm your mum, but she won't know who she is. She literally has no idea. It's like, she'll believe that Ben's her dad, then what's going to happen there? Do you know what I mean? How's she going to get a connection, or is she even going to believe it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think sometimes, I think it's really interesting that I'll say something and like 1 or 2 episodes later, bang, it's back in the show.
How'd you get onto this island?
Don't waste your breath. Whatever he says will be a lie.
They brought me on the submarine. 2 weeks ago, our underwater beacon stopped emitting its locator signal. It would be impossible to come back.
Why would you want to come back?
You're not capable of understanding.
And why am I not capable?
Kate, the man who brought me here, he is a magnificent man.
And so magnificent. Then why did he need one of us to save him?
Ben is not. Of course I don't know you, Sayid Jarrah. How could I? And you, Kate Austen, are a complete stranger.
They know everything about everybody, don't they? I wonder how they get all this information.
But I must be confused, because the John Locke I know was perhaps...
I don't get why it's a big deal, to be honest, that he was paralysed. So they've got an electromagnetic fence that's going around. That's what I'm thinking. Right, we've had this on one of the other shows, haven't we? And I'm not going to name the show. Do you know why, right? Because everybody moans that I give spoilers away. But, like, I only ever reference a show that I posted on the channel. And hopefully you guys have watched. So I would never be like, oh, in this show here, this guy dies. You know what I mean? It's like, that's got no correlation to my channel. Usually on my channel, I reference stuff that we've actually watched. Like the 100. You know what I mean? The originals. The Vampire Diaries. These are the big shows. Teen Wolf. I'll say stuff in relation to them and nothing of other shows. What I will acknowledge is, in a show, not saying which one that we've watched, we've seen a magnetic field like this. Somebody goes through it, it obviously kills them. I'm going to say it's the same here. I'm going to say it's radioactive or it's either magnetic, and it's going to be some sort of trigger warning. In them sonic panels that are on the side there, going to like fry somebody when they walk through it. You know what I mean? The best way to get through it is up and over and above it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then that again is sus as well, and I don't know who you'd want to be the guinea pig for that, but you know, that's what I'm saying. It's clearly there, unless it was taken down when they put the key in. Do you know what I mean? You'll never know.
Will this work?
Yes. Work.
Smells great.
Let's get it over with.
This was my mother's worst fear.
That I would end up doing something very much like this.
Cutting bait.
My mom was a librarian.
Was?
We should get this stuff out there.
Sounds like she passed away.
I'm Dr. Woodrow from neurosurgery. I'll be observing your mother for the next few days.
How is she?
We managed to stabilize her immediate injuries.
I mean, when she wakes up, she won't
I can't say with any real confidence that she will wake up.
Can she hear us?
I like to think she can.
How long will she be like this?
Be a day, a week, or years.
But we can't pay for that.
Don't worry. Her expenses have already been taken care of.
That's interesting, actually. You know, they've got like an anonymous donor. Now, again, in the UK, you know, it's free. Well, no, not really. We get paid and then it gets taken out our waste on it to the NHS. But you know, every time, the positive is, you know, every time you go to the doctors or you go to the hospital, you pay for nothing. You know, broken arm, you know, dying, call an ambulance, having a baby, it's all free. You know what I mean? Because obviously our salary pays it. But the interesting thing is, you know, these are in Australia. I would have thought like they would have had the same. Australia's part of the, pretty sure it's part of the Commonwealth. It's part of the UK kind of branch of countries that worship like and love the Queen and, you know, well, Charles now. So I would have thought they would have adapted like similar approaches, but maybe not. It's interesting that they've got an anonymous donor. Now the ruthless thing is here with Claire, you know, she possibly caused the crash. She said somebody else did. It's not confirmed yet. And imagine having that weight on your shoulder, knowing that your mum, if you did cause the crash, could potentially never wake again, and it could possibly have been your fault. That's deep, mate. Pull it now. Mate, are you shooting a gun here?
Look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man.
Like I said, I'm sorry. What's wrong with you? Hunting in the exact same spot as we're setting our trap. You don't want me to catch the birds, do you? What's going on?
Why wouldn't I want you to catch the bugs?
Charlie should just tell her, innit? It'll literally help him so much.
What do you think they are?
Electro pulses or something.
It's an alarm system or a trap. Either way, we'd be safer going around it.
It was a security perimeter. Like everything else on this island, it hasn't functioned in years.
Oh, Locke's using him instead of a stick. Oh, imagine dying like that. Like bleeding out his ears. Look at that, it's spewing out. That's a bit of a ruthless death, that, innit? Literally, it really is. I mean, I'd rather it be him than me if I was them.
Oh my God.
Suffered a cerebral hemorrhage.
Why did you do that? We needed him.
They were never going to trade him for Jack.
You don't know that.
Well, you don't know it either. I didn't know he was going to die. How would I know that?
Why are you really here?
You know what I mean? Like, John's the type of person that thinks that fate brought him here.
We're going to go through this.
We're not going to go through it. We're going over it.
Well, I
Oops.
stand corrected.
Oops. It must have slipped my mind.
You never know when a little C4 might come in handy.
What's going on with you, Charlie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So you don't know anything about Desmond shooting off his gun and scaring away the birds?
I don't want to advocate false hope, Claire. That's all.
I'm sorry I bothered you with my stupid ideas, and it won't ever happen again. I'm on my own, and at least I know that now.
Claire!
Just go!
You know, to be fair, yeah? Well, at least, to be fair, she has overreacted a little bit, but I'm giving it her. Because Jack overreacted when he shouted at the stewardess, but it was valid. I think hers is valid as well. It's the second time he's given... Well, yeah, well, he's lied. I was going to say false info, he's lied. It would have been much better to him to say, look, Desmond told me that all these things that have been happening, he's had the visions prior. He told me I'm going to die and now I'm a bit scared. You know what I mean? That is literally beneficial for him to say that and get it out there. She might understand him a little bit more.
I like your new doctor.
What new doctor?
Oh, the American.
American new doctor? You reckon it's Jack? Oh, it's Jack's dad. Oh, wait, he's in Australia. Don't tell me he's fucking her dad, mate.
The nurse said...
I'm very sorry. I shouldn't be disturbing you. I was just leaving.
Carol knew you were here.
She'd what? What would she do? She wouldn't be acting the way you are.
Are you the one paying the bills? Are you the one taking care of all this? And who are you?
I'm your father, Claire.
Claire's dad. Oh, mate, I called it a second ago. I just thought, you know what, he come to Australia to find his daughter and we didn't see who it was, and then he was here and it just clicked, man.
The system appears to fire a sonic pulse when an object breaks the plane between two pylons.
We usually see her doing this when she's going up to get the fruit, but I wouldn't want to be the first over, just in case anything bad happens. Look at all them watching. Mate, that'd be well scary.
I'll go next.
I still think his death is pretty ruthless, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, dying like that, he must have been in pain.
You have every right to be upset.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Whatever is going on, they're still talking about it. What are you going to do?
Get some answers. I have nothing to say to you.
Claire, I'm leaving tonight, and I'll be out of your life forever. Just one cup of coffee.
Why did she tell me that you're dead?
Well, because I, no doubt, left here with so many wonderful memories. I came over because I wanted to help.
Help with what?
Your mother is alive, but she's not really living. It is illegal to turn off her machines, but I know of ways that can achieve the same effect without the legal consequences.
Just stop it. No, just go. Why don't you just go? Go back to your real family. You might be my father, but I don't even know your name. I want it to stay that way.
You know, it's mad, isn't it? Because, like, Jack's dad, when he was first introduced, I wasn't sure I was a big fan of him, if I'm being totally honest. But the more you see of somebody, the more you get the stories and stuff, the more I kind of, like, tolerate him. Like, I don't think he's that bad. And I personally, as well, don't think the suggestion of turning off the machine, which is illegal, / going around other ways and killing her, is that far-fetched. Now, again, it's grey area and it's down to everybody's own personal opinion, and I'm not going to say yours is correct and I'm not going to say mine's correct. All I'm going to say is I'm going to respect every single person in the world's different opinion on this scenario. Me as a human, I personally, if I was in a position myself, so I'm going to talk for me, where I was in a bed and I couldn't wake up and I couldn't talk and I couldn't move and I couldn't eat and I couldn't go out and I couldn't enjoy myself and I couldn't do anything, and I was basically just dead on a bed with a machine keeping me breathing, I would want to go. For me, in my own personal opinion, I'm just wasting my life, basically. I might as well have died, you know what I mean? Because I'm already technically dead anyway. And I wouldn't want my family, in terms of, you know, like my kids and my wife and my parents coming and sitting on my bedside every single day knowing that I'm never going to wake up, because they're not going to ever get the chance to move on. And this is like Claire, you know, she could turn up every single day for 10, 20 years and her mum's still basically never spoken, never woken up, never done anything. She's basically dead but alive dead. And my personal opinion is I would want that machine switched off. It's ruthless, it absolutely is. And like I said, that's my opinion. Hopefully you can respect it. I respect anybody else's who sees it differently. You know what I'm saying? No opinion's correct. Everybody's got their own. But I also am going to be a dead hypocrite to myself. I actually am. I'm going to be really hypocritical and say if that was my mum on the bed, I wouldn't have the strength to turn the machine off. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's my outlook on it. You know what I'm saying? If it was me on the bed, I would be happy for them to turn it off. But if it was my parent, then I think I'd be in a position like Claire where I'd be struggling to do it.
You followed me. Stay back.
You knew.
How would I?
I don't know, but you know, you walked straight here. What the hell is going on, Desmond?
See that spot over there? That's where Charlie slipped and fell in.
What are you talking about?
That's where Charlie died.
She just needs a bit more explanation, don't she? That's all.
Desmond told me everything. About all his visions. That you were going to drown, trying to rescue me in the ocean. How you died, trying to get me this bird.
It must have been quite a bit of time then, since the conversation with her dad and now this. Oh, and she's pregnant, yeah.
Something I have to tell you. Something I should have told you a long time ago. I'm pregnant. I don't know how you did it. Raising me alone. I'm so sorry, Mum. So sorry for all the awful things I said to you in the car. I hated you. I wished you weren't my mother, and I wished you were dead. I'm so sorry, Mum.
To whom it may concern, we are survivors of Oceanic Flight 815. We have survived on this island for 80 days, waiting for rescue that has not come. Some of us have come to accept we may never leave it. Not all of us have survived since the crash. But there is new life, too. Please don't give up on us.
I'd have to fold it as tight as possible, just in case it gets wet.
You're gonna be okay. We'll get through this together.
Good. I hope so. I can hear him, me, yeah? Look at him.
Jack.
What is happening? What is actually happening? What is that? Do you know what I mean? Like, that is a proper mystery, innit? It's the second time we've seen that. This is the second time that we've seen people taken, yeah, and then they're loving the life in that scenario there. Like, I just don't get it, and we need explanations. Are they being drugged? What is happening? Why is there... The first one is the air hostess, you know what I mean? She was there. She didn't care at all that she was taken. Well, last time, obviously, Jack was shouting at her, and the kids as well, and I understand that Jack's come here, you know, basically cut a deal, and maybe when Jack sees them, he might want to go with them, but with Jack's point of view, I can kind of understand it a little bit in terms of the fact that he's like, look, mate, you know, I was content with whatever life I got dealt with after knowing that I saved you. You know what I mean? Knowing that you were safe makes me happy, and whatever he's decided to give me, whether it was that cell or the cage outside or here in these houses, I accepted it. And you got to make the most of the situation that you get, whether it's good or bad. But they're outside, they're loving it, mate. Even that guy going around throwing the football, do you know what I mean? He's running, he's chilling. He's just living his normal best life. You know, it's interesting. They've got like paths and bicycles, you know what I mean? Someone's pedaling around, and it just looks like they're having a great time. Now I want to know if, obviously, that guy went through the fence and died. Did it send any sort of trigger system to these inside that had happened? You would think it would, wouldn't you? You'd think it'd be rigged up to be like that. But it is really interesting. Yeah, we used the Claire storyline here in the backstory, and we found out like Jack's got a sister and it's Claire. Do you know what I mean? All season I've been wondering what's happening with that storyline. Does Jack know actually he's got a sister? I mean, she said that she never knew the name of her father, which is interesting because then it'll never come up in a conversation that like, oh, you know, he was called this, and Jack was like, oh, so was mine, and etc. And they could kind of talk about it. I don't know how that would ever come to light, that them two are ever related again. I mean, it's interesting that he's still funding her mum, and I was saying, you know, in the ruthless parts as well of the episode, you know, you have to make a decision whether to cut the machine or not. I was saying if I was on the bed never moving, I would be happy if my family done it, but if my mum was on the bed, I'd be struggling, and I'd be the same as Claire, you know what I mean? So like, it's kind of sitting on both fences really in terms of my opinion there, but I'm interested to see what you guys say with that. But I'm excited now, mate. You know, getting towards this camp, chaos I was expecting to start, but they didn't look like it was happening. Where was Russo then? I don't think she was even stood with them then. Did she climb over? She usually plays it dead safe, doesn't she? She don't like engaging. She's like, I've survived on the island for so long, this and this and this. She likes to kind of be reserved and out of the way. So I didn't even see her there, but knowing that her daughter's there, she probably want to see what she looks like and watch her. Mate, I'm so excited to see what happens now. And Claire was successful this episode. She was. You know, talking about false hope and all this and that. Nah, mate, you know, she had a plan. She went for it. She was committed and it worked. So that's what I like to see. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking it out. Really enjoyed it. Great season so far. Excited to see what's to come. What a crazy mic drop, boom, like whatever you want to call it, of Jack and obviously Claire being siblings. That's madness, isn't it, mate? It really, really is. You know, I'm excited to see where we go from here. Why is Jack running around? Why is he loving his life? You know what I mean? Ruthless death from that guy going through that like pulsar fence or whatever you want to call it, the radiation, sonic, electromagnetic thing. That was proper bad death. I would not want that one. You know what I mean? I would much rather just get shot the way Anna Lucille done it than him going through there. He went through, he's shaking, blood was bursting out of his ears, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Foam was coming all over the mouth. I would not want that death, if I'm being totally honest. Now, again, Locke, mystery man. He actually is. Like, what's going on with him? Like, he's gone in there, he's took the C4, pretending that he didn't know it was there. I mean, I believe that he didn't know that the building was going to blow up once he entered that code, but I also do believe that he has his own hidden agendas and intentions. And I just said that, imagine if it was the best long con ever that he was in charge. You know what I mean? That would be so interesting. But talking about people being in charge, not sorry, being in charge, like being one of the others, you know what I mean? That would be the best long con ever. But speaking about being in charge, Benny's not the man. Now, this is interesting because I've always thought this from when, you know, when Ben was inside of the armory and he was speaking to him and he was like, look, mate, you know, the man in charge, he's a great man. He's a, you know, like, we love him, but he's not a forgiving man. That's what he said. And I was like, whoa, that's really interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's been in this situation, he respects him loads, and he's accepting kind of his death because obviously kind of like he failed his mission. But he's also saying that he's a great man, you know what I mean? And I want to know who it is. And then as we progressed through it, it seemed like he was in charge, Ben. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen him come and he's done this and that and he escapes. And obviously he's got his, like, people coming on the ship and he's come and everybody listens to him and he sanctions everything and he says everything and he's on the island and he's running it and he's dictating it and everybody's putting their lives on the line for him and he's been saved and he saved Juliet when he actioned that thing and said she was marked. You know what I mean? Like, all our roles have been pointing to Ben being in charge. And now it turns out he's not. This guy revealed it again that somebody else is in charge and he's a great man. You know what I mean? And he said the same as Ben. He seems like they really respect him, but they're kind of scared at the same time. And obviously revealed that Ben is not the man. So, I don't know what's going on there, mate. Is this one little kind of facility of many? And, you know, what is actually going on? And I'm just interested. Like, since Jack got on the boat with Juliet in that episode when Kate and Sawyer got away, I don't believe that we've seen anything of them again. Maybe with 3 episodes or 2 episodes of absenceness before we got back into it. So, I mean, that's pretty decent because I have been saying quite a lot in the early stages of this season that I've actually not really cared about the storyline on the island, and I've been really heavily involved and excited about what's going on with Ben and Jack and Kate and Sawyer and the others. But now they've drawn me back in, you know, having a bit of absence and then a bit of backstory back onto the island and getting me engaged in them again. And, like, you know, getting me equipped kind of like with their storylines and engaging and giving me something to kind of get behind. I'm fully back into it now. And if we do the perfect blend of, like, today's episode, for example, was a great blend. We had a bit and a bit and a bit and a bit. And if we do that, I'm going to be loving it, mate. So I want to see what happens now. I want to see how Jack reacts. I want to see what's going on. I want to see if Jack even remembers them and how, obviously, he plays it out. It's going to be a good back end of the season. Thanks for checking it out. If you did enjoy today's, please smash a like. Really helps out. Subscribe if you do. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.